good morning. Welcome to another episode of All Hands on Deck. I'm Katherine McBean, and today I'm kind of reaching out to you guys. I want to get your thoughts. Firstly, I'd like to apologise that I'm unable to respond to comments under the channel at the moment. YouTube are playing with my account, there's a surprise, and they're just not letting me comment on the, respond to you guys and comment, and they're not letting me comment on other videos. So I'm still trying to work on that, but thank you. Keep your responses coming. I'm going to find a solution, even if I have to create a new account. Anyway, what I wanted to get your thoughts on today is, how far do things go before we start rebelling in earnest? Now, I'm not talking about grabbing your pitchforks, going out the street, causing chaos. I mean, who knows? Maybe it will get to that stage, but let's hope not. Let's hope we can avoid going down that route. But we are going to have to see the people stand up. And it's a case of, what does that look like? We've followed every judicial route. We followed every route with the police. We've done everything within our power to sensibly try and resolve the situations we have. We see the farmers starting to rise up. Well, they've been rising up across Europe and doing a fantastic job. And I think the farmers are starting to become more fractious across the UK. Welsh farmers kind of at the lead with that, and understandably so. They're under far more pressure. Not far more pressure, but certainly more pressure than farmers in the UK, in England. But I think we're going to see that shift over to England soon enough. The election bandwagons are rolling. You know, farmers, we're here to save you. We're come to the rescue. Oh, really? Where have you been all these years, sunshine? No, we don't believe you. We know you're talking nonsense. So the farmers are definitely looking to potentially move by the sounds of it. But we, the people, have to support them, whether it's supplying them with sandwiches, donating money to them to get fuel in the tractors, getting up, you know, porta potty type situations wherever they land. There's certainly plenty that we can do to support them. But do we need to have a rebellion? Is it enough that we all go to our councils and push back and say no to the net zero nonsense, no to the illegal immigrants, no to every other thing they're doing, and spaffing our council tax money up against the wall in the process? How far do we need to go? Is it that we need to go a little bit further with that? Do we need to kind of block the buildings and say, right, out, done. We're done with you. We're going to come in. We're going to bring in professionals to audit what you've done, and you will be held responsible for anything you've done that is not in the benefit of the people of your council area. That's it. We're done. Do we need to go so far as to start thinking about the reality of making citizens arrests? How do we do that when we don't have anywhere to hold these people? And we certainly know the police aren't going to support us in this, but they've seen enough evidence. They're committing crimes themselves. The police I no longer personally recognise in any position of authority. I felt that way for a while, to be honest. But certainly throughout this COVID thing, as time has gone on, it's become more and more apparent that they're fundamentally boot police for the government at best, or they're spineless. And this is another thing that we need to consider. You know, we've got Farage and others, started Tice coming out now talking about jabs. Where were you, sunshine? Where were you? No, election cycle nonsense. Personally, I don't give a stuff who gets, if there are May elections, I don't give a stuff who gets into government. None of them, of the major parties, have done anything to help we the people in previous years. So I think it is time that they all went, and I think it is going to come down to us to remove them. But what should that look like? We want to avoid chaos. We want to avoid violence. We want to avoid destruction. None of those things help us. It just gives them an opportunity to usher in their old little NWO, you know, martial law kind of situation. So really, how do we do this smartly? How to do this cleverly? Do we need to wait for more people to wake up? Do we risk a chance of potential civil war against those who are sleepy and still think the government and the police are wonderful people? Is that a possibility, that there's not enough awake yet? We're seeing more and more truths come out, which is wonderful. Obviously, we saw an article come out yesterday from a group that are suggesting the MHRA need to come under the cosh. I think that was Medical Publications Group, but we'll see if we can link that in the comments below. which we all know needs to happen. The MHRA are massively in trouble, along with all the others that pushed it and supported it. And we're seeing more and more of this come out each day. And thankfully, the US are picking up the pace in their narrative of getting the real news out rather than the fake news. It's going to still take some time. But how long have we got? Every single day that goes past, more and more people are suffering, more and more people are dying. What we need really is to have control of government so that we can roll out the therapeutics and treatments that we know are having some positive impact, and at least get that moving as quickly as possible to destroy the spike and, heal some other nasties that are taking place. In terms of the farmers, we can bring in infrastructure, we can bring in the solutions, we can bring it all. If we had DEFRA's budget, they're spaffing that money up against the wall. It's not being used to bring food growth to this country. It is not supporting food sovereignty. And surely that should be the first role of DEFRA, is to make sure this country and its people have enough food. And they're not. They're literally putting roadblocks in the way. So how far do we let this go? How much longer does this go on for before we rise up and say, no, we're done? If we could have the majority awake, then it'd be easy. Everyone just stop complying. Everyone just stop complying. Don't pay your council tax this month. Don't pay your car tax. Don't pay any of it. Just stop. But we don't have the numbers yet. We aren't quite there. Should our time be spent on waking up the normies? Or are they too far gone, some of them? Are they just going to have to wait till this year rolls out when we're going to see the truth bombs drop? I mean, there's no two ways about it. They're coming. Or do we need to spend more time, like I say, focusing on waking them up now? And how do we do that? How do we achieve that? Is it too much that we wait for them to wake up? I mean, they've had all these years and they've not done it yet. So is that a consideration to take into account? We don't have all the answers, but what we do know is that time is running out for us to retain any control or take back some more control. And we need to ask ourselves, what is our role? What do? We have a moral and civic responsibility to take care of the people around us in our country. The government are not doing that. They're harming them, as are so much of the NHS, the police, the other institutions, and as part of the establishment that we've come to know as being enemy of the people, quite honestly. And so we need to ask ourselves, how far do we let this go before we stand up? How far do we go when we stand up? And what is our end goal? Is it to take government? Is it to take control of the police? Is it to take control of our armed forces and start removing the illegal immigrants? Start being firmer with our benefit system? Start feeding money back into the food production system that is actually going to benefit the farmers and producers and give us food? Is it to take control of the NHS budget, get rid of the middle management, and actually start bringing back sensible therapies and remedies for the people outside of every pill for every ill? When does it become enough? Our education system's on its knees. Our children are being indoctrinated. It's disgusting. When do we take back control of the education system? I'd really like to hear your thoughts, guys. I'd really like to know where you're at, what you think the solutions are, what's too far, what's not far enough, and what role do we play as civilians, if you like, of this country in saving it. Really serious conversations need to be had now. When is enough enough? I'm going to leave it there today. I really would love to see your comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, get this out there. These are conversations we need to have, and I don't want to leave these conversations to the police, to the army, to the government. These are for us, we the people, and we need to start making some decisions. But have a good week. It's all moving. God bless, and we'll speak soon.